Right, so we're live. Yep, live, lovely, jubbly. So what is up there, guys? My name is Bobby Salazar, and I am your Nerdic Pro Podcast General Manager. And today, I'm here for episode number 10 of the Nerdic Pro Weekly. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's actually been watching the podcast regularly over the past 10 weeks, especially for Nerdic Pro Weekly as well. And yeah, so the fact that I count Nerdic Pro Weekly is actually, for fuck's sake. The fact that how Nerdic Pro Weekly has actually reached its 10 weeks is actually pretty decent. And yeah, so yeah, today's episode of Nerdic Pro Weekly will be a short one. And yeah, so on today's episode, I'll be talking about my current predictions for tomorrow night's WWE Royal Rumble match, Royal Rumble show, as well as talking about recently me appearing on the Falling Star Wrestling podcast to talk about their most recent show on January 8th, 2022 at the Westland Sports and Social Centre for Falling Star Wrestling's New Year, New Spear show. Now, I'll also be talking about that show as well, which I had reviewed, I want to say 3 podcasts ago. I could be wrong. But I know that I definitely did review it. But I'll be reviewing it again tonight. Now, to start off tonight's episode of Nerdic Pro Weekly, I'm going to be predicting tomorrow night's WWE Royal Rumble show, with it still only being tomorrow night, and also with tonight's episode of SmackDown still on its way. I presume that this will still be card subject to change. Now, the card is as follows: the WWE Championship match with the reigning champion Brock Lesnar defending against the almighty former WWE champion Bobby Lashley. So yeah, Brock Lesnar will be defending the WWE Championship against Bobby Lashley. We'll be seeing the Universal Championship up for grabs as well, with Roman Reigns defending against Seth freaking Rollins. We shall also be seeing The Miz teaming with Maurice to take on 2 WWE Hall of Famers of the Rated R Superstar, Edge and Beth Phoenix. We'll also be seeing the Raw Women's Championship on the line between the reigning champion Becky Lynch taking on Doudrop, formerly known as Viper or Viper Niven. Also, we'll be seeing the Raw Tag Team Championships on the line with the newly crowned champions, the defending champions of Otis and Chad Gable, taking on the now former champions of Matt Riddle and Randy Orton. Now, we'll also be seeing the 2 Royal Rumble match, the 2 Royal Rumble matches, match and the Women's Rumble match. If I'm perfectly honest with you, I've only actually drafted up a prediction for the Men's Rumble match in a minute. I will, however, be doing a podcast tomorrow. Sorry about that. But yeah, I will, however, be doing a podcast tomorrow. I'll be starting it. I haven't got a clue what time I'll be starting it. Yeah, so that's when I'll be predicting the Women's Rumble match as well. So yeah, currently, as it stands for my Men's Rumble match predictions, I've got number 1 as Rey Mysterio, 2 as Austin Theory, 3 as Madcap Moss, 4 as Drew McIntyre, 5 as Happy Corbin, 6 as Ivar, 7 as Dominic Mysterio, 8 AJ Styles, 9 as Damian Priest. Number 10 I had originally had Jeff Jarrett down, but I changed this for Johnny Knoxville because I completely forgot that Johnny Knoxville, one of the men out of fucking Jackass, were in it. Were actually in the match, and I never actually drafted him up on my prediction. So yeah, I got number 10 as Johnny Knoxville, number 11 as Big E, number 12 as the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, number 13 as the Celtic Warrior Sheamus, 14 as The Miz, 15 as Kofi Kingston, 16 as John Cena, 17 as the returning Corey Graves, 18 as the United States Champion Bron Breakker, 19 as Cesaro, 20 either Xavier Woods or Walter or Gunther. So far, Xavier Woods has still not actually been medically cleared to compete tomorrow night, as it stands. But if Xavier Woods will not be making an appearance at the show tomorrow, or in the men's Royal Rumble match, if he does, then I've got him predicted down as number 20. If not, then I've got Walter or Gunther down as number 20 instead. Number 21, I've got Angelo Dawkins. 22, I've got as Veer Mahan. Number 23 is Eric from the Viking Raiders. 24 as the returning Tyson Kidd. 25 as Montez Ford. 26 is Jinder Mahal. 17 is Edge. 28 as the Hurricane. 29, I've got down as Paul Heyman. And then number 30, I've got down as the Impact Wrestling World Champion of Moose. Now, the only reason why I've actually got Moose in the match is because obviously you've got the Impact Wrestling Knockouts. Yeah, because obviously you've got the Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion of Mickie James making an appearance in the women's Royal Rumble match as well. She's obviously been announced as a current Impact Wrestling superstar and as the Impact Wrestling Knockouts champion as well. It has also been rumoured that she'll be coming out to her hardcore country theme, the theme that she uses on the independent circuit and in Impact Wrestling. Now, obviously, if Mickie James is making an appearance, quite a few people I've been hearing have been saying there are rumours going around that the Impact Wrestling World Champion Moose will be making an appearance in the men's Rumble match, as well as Mickie James making an appearance in the women's Rumble match. Obviously, Mickie James has actually been confirmed by WWE officials and by official WWE sources, but as well as Impact Wrestling. But the truth about, I'm just got to turn my fucking thing off. Alexa, if you were fucking wondering, for some reason this fucking tablet that I record, if it's a fucking Alexa built into it for whatever fucking reason, but literally, even if I don't fucking say Alexa, it'll still fucking be adamant that I'm talking to fucking that, which pisses me off. But yeah, what was I saying? But yeah, obviously it's been announced by WWE officials and WWE and by official WWE sources that Mickie James will be appearing in the women's Royal Rumble match. It has been rumoured that she'll be coming out to a hardcore country theme, her current Impact Wrestling theme, as well as the theme that she uses on the independent circuit. Now, my predictions for the main show outside of both of the Rumble matches. I want to start off with the Miz and Maurice, the intergender tag team match between the Miz and Maurice taking on Edge and Beth Phoenix, the two WWE Hall of Famers. I personally think that Edge and Beth Phoenix will be taking the victory. I'll be taking the WWE, obviously, because they're both legends in the WWE. And I think that they will definitely have the upper hand with the crowd on their side to actually help boost their victory. So I personally think that Edge and Beth Phoenix will be coming out victorious. Going on to the Raw Women's Championship, we will be seeing Becky Lynch defend her title against Doudrop, formerly known as Viper and formerly known as Viper Niven as well, on the independent circuit, in the Mae Young Classic and in NXT UK as well. Now, I personally think we'll be seeing a Doudrop victory, if I'm perfectly honest with you. I personally think that Becky Lynch will fall and will crumble to Doudrop. I don't know how Doudrop will actually be picking up the victory, but personally, I'd like to think that Doudrop will be becoming the new WWE Raw Women's Champion. Moving on to the Raw Tag Team title match, we'll be seeing the Alpha Academy of Otis and Chad Gable, the defending newly crowned champions, taking on RK Bro. Personally, I think that Randy Orton and the King of Bros, Matt Riddle, will be picking up. I personally think that Randy Orton and the King of Bros, Matt Riddle, will be picking up the victory in this match and becoming once again the Raw Tag Team Champions of RK Bro. Moving on to the Universal Championship match, we will be seeing the defending champion Roman Reigns taking on Seth freaking Rollins. Seth freaking Rollins. Obviously, you've got the two former Shield brethren, obviously faced each other several times since the split and the demise of the Shield. So personally, I think that Roman Reigns will be retaining the championship against Seth freaking Rollins to then potentially have a title unification match coming up at WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar. Now we're also going to be seeing the WWE Championship match between Brock Lesnar defending the WWE Championship against the almighty and former WWE Champion in his own right of Bobby Lashley. This match is going to be a first time ever match. These two men have never come face to face when it comes to a one-on-one situation or in a one-on-one match. But personally, I think that this match will definitely be a match of the year worthy contender. I would personally, I would personally love to see Lesnar picking up the victory and retaining the WWE Championship to then go on to Mania for a title unification match. This is only personally what I actually would like to see coming from a fan. I've already said my predictions for the men's Rumble match. A couple weeks back, well, it was only this past, I want to say Tuesday, when it was actually uploaded. A couple of weeks back, this past Tuesday, when it was officially uploaded, I appeared on the Falling Star Wrestling podcast. Falling Star Wrestling are a company that our wrestling company that I have been following for many, many, many years. Now, to have been contacted by the owner and founder of Fallen Star Wrestling, the legendary Jimmy Star, to ask to appear on the Falling Star Wrestling podcast to help promote the Nerdic podcast and speak about the Falling Star Wrestling New Year New Spear show, which took place a couple of weeks back on January 8th, 2022. Now, the show of the Fallen Star Wrestling's New Year New Spear show was a very, very good show and a very, very good way for Fallen Star Wrestling to actually kick off 2022. The show started out with a match between Sassy Bear Clarence taking on Tommy Lawrence. This match was being contested between two fan favourites, so face versus face. Personally, Sassy Bear Clarence is the more powerhouse out of the two, whereas Tommy Lawrence is the more agile, athletic, and more technical. The more technical wrestler out of the two as well. It ended up being a victory and a W for the Sassy Bear Clarence. That match in itself was actually a fairly decent match, and a good way to have the first match for Fallen Star Wrestling 2022. Now, match number 2 was on Bobby Adams and George Rashwood. This match was a victory for George Rashwood and Bobby Adams. The match in itself was again fairly decent. If you want to listen to more exclusive details on matches, then head over to the Fallen Star Wrestling Facebook page, or go ahead on Spotify, Listen Notes, Google Podcasts, or Anchor Podcasts, where you can listen to the podcast I do with PVC and Jimmy Star, where you can get a more in-depth view on the matches. Match number 3, we saw the Black Rose Caddy Gray taking on the Kung Fu Vampire Furio. This match was a fairly decent match as well. There were a lot of submissions. I think the only sort of critique I can actually give to this match was that there were a lot of submissions, and there weren't exactly a lot of rope time. There weren't exactly a lot of movement, as most of the match was pretty much dedicated to submissions. It ended up being a victory for, I want to say, Caddy Gray, which was, again, fairly decent. We then went into the interval. Then match number 4, we ended up seeing two former Fallen Star Wrestling world champions, the more recent of Jalen Scar, who is now the first ever 2-time Fallen Star world champion. So Jalen Scar taking on another former Fallen Star Wrestling world champion, the Dark Wolf, Matt Walters. Now, both these guys are probably two of the biggest names in that company's history. They're probably two of the biggest names in FSW history. And I've literally been begging for this match for fucking years. Do you know what I mean? And finally, on the 8th of January this year, it actually finally came true, thank God. Now, that match was actually probably going to be one of my two favourite matches of that night. So it was a very good match, actually. Then it ended up being a victory and a W for Jalen Scar. Match number 5 was a fatal 5-way. Was a fatal 5-way match between. It was an academy match by the Fallen Star Wrestling trainees. We ended up seeing the likes of Alex Miller, Joey Garcia, JJ King. Fuck's sake, the reason why this week's edition of Nerdic Pro Weekly didn't take place on Wednesday was because I'm currently dog sitting. Hello, Daisy. Daisy, hello. Hello. So this week's edition of Nerdic Pro Weekly didn't take place on Wednesday because I'm currently around a mate's dog sitting. The Fatal 5-Way was Joey Garcia, JJ King, Alex Miller, Sean Stone, Robbie Lewis. It was a Fatal 5-Way match between Joey Garcia, JJ King, Alex Miller, Sean Stone, and Robbie Lewis. Now, this match was, I think, a very, very good stipulated match because it was an Academy Showcase match. I personally think that we need to see a few more of them when it comes to Fallen Star Wrestling. I did mention this on the Fallen Star podcast. When I appeared on the FSW podcast, to say that the more in-ring time you actually give the Academy wrestlers, the more it will actually help boost confidence to want to continue actually coming and to actually want to continue going to the FSW, the Fallen Star Wrestling Training Academy, and the training sessions. It'll want to boost their confidence to actually want to continue performing as an in-ring wrestling performer. I'm saying none of Joey Garcia, JJ King, Alex Miller, Sean Stone, and Robbie Lewis are confident. They all look fucking amazing in that match, in the 5-way match on January 8th at West Lynn. But what I'm saying is that the more Academy matches that Fallen Star have, then the more improvement the guys like Joey Garcia, JJ King, Alex Miller, Sean Stone, and Robbie Lewis will get. Do you know what I mean? Because yes, they've got to keep improving via the Academy, but they'll need to showcase their skills in front of a crowd as well to actually make them want to actually be an in-ring wrestler. Do you know what I mean? To then probably go on to actually do professional wrestling. To actually do wrestling professionally. Do you know what I mean? Because I do think that these guys, so Joey Garcia, JJ King, Alex Miller, Sean Stone, and Robbie Lewis, all have got the potential to actually be top star athletes on the Fallen Star Wrestling roster. But I do think that with all of them, that there is still a tiny bit of work to be done. I do think that some of the five, that a couple of the five, do need a tiny bit more work than others. I ain't going to say who, but they've all got the potential quite easily to become some of the top Fallen Star Wrestling superstars in Fallen Star Wrestling history, and potentially become big names of the British wrestling scene. Do you know what I mean? We then went on to the main event for the Fallen Star Wrestling Heavyweight Championship between the reigning champion, the Alpha Athlete, and the now Lion Wrestling Promotions Heavyweight Champion of the World, C.W. Davis, a man who I've done an interview with previously here on the Nerdic Pro podcast. He ended up taking on the challenger of Brett Semtex, another man who I've had here on the Nerdic Pro podcast for an interview. This match was definitely by far match of the night. It was bloody amazing, and it was definitely a cracking and great main event. So it's a fucking amazing match. Definitely by far one of the best wrestling matches I've ever actually seen, and I've been to quite a few Fallen Star wrestling shows. Literally, I've been to fucking loads, and this was by far one of the best wrestling shows I've ever actually seen, by a fucking long shot, by a fucking mile. Do you know what I mean? That match in itself was fucking amazing. The show as well was, as a whole, fucking amazing as well. Do you know what I mean? So if you would like to go to the Falling Star Wrestling Facebook page. That's at Falling Star Wrestling. Star is spelt with 2 R's instead of the 1. Obviously, falling and wrestling are both spelt normally. But yeah, if you would like to go and head over to the Falling Star Wrestling Facebook page, go give them a follow. Get your asses down to a Fallen Star Wrestling event. Their next show is on the... What's the date tomorrow? It's on the 29th, Saturday the 29th of January 2022, at the Outwell Village Hall, just outside of Wisbech. Also, if you'd like to head over to either the iTunes podcasts, Spotify podcasts, Google podcasts, Anchor podcasts, or Spotify podcasts, then you'll be able to listen to myself as well as Patrick Vincent Crown BBC and Jimmy Starr of the Disaster Artist, their tag team in Fallen Star Wrestling, talk about this show and my debut podcast outside of the Nerdic Pro podcast. Now, I would like to say this will be the end of today's podcast. I did say that I'll be keeping it a tiny bit short, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind going over to the Fallen Star Wrestling Facebook page, go and give them giving them a thumb up and a like and a follow. Also, get your asses down to a Fallen Star Wrestling event, as you will not regret it whatsoever. Now, I would like to thank each and every single one of you for watching. Thank you very much for those of you actually watching live, and thank you very much for those of you watching afterwards. My name's been Bobby Salazar, and I've been Nerdic Pro host, and I've been your Nerdic Pro podcast general manager. I shall be seeing you guys this Sunday for a very special podcast regarding Falling Star Wrestling as well. Thank you very much. I shall be seeing you later. Goodbye.